Hey, welcome to the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. I got a little distracted there. But you know what? How things going today? It's first Monday of December. The year's coming to an end. I probably should be doing an OKR discussion and goals. But today I want to talk about this is Metric Monday here on the show. The great debate. Do we adjust points after the sprint starts or do we not adjust points after the sprint starts? Some will say not to, and I'll talk about that a little bit today. I'm gonna give some points on why you should adjust your points after the sprint starts. And because the question is our goal to become really good estimators? And that sounds more project management type things, or is our goal to create more communication? And that's what I want to talk about today on the show on our Metric Monday here on the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. And I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach, where we talk about Scrum and Agile in career and growth and things like that in business. So the idea is to bring more value to customer without working crazy hours and get home to family and friends, right? And that's hopefully some of the things I share with you will help you get there. And it's the 1st of December, and it was a little late start. A couple little emergencies I had to take care of. I won't go into graphic detail because some of it's kind of disgusting, involving a dog and then a kid. They're both sick. Anyway, it's a sick people house here today in the office, and hopefully we won't do no live program like we did on Friday when my wife came in on the show and interrupted the show. But if you want to see comedy in action, check out that live program on our Fun Friday, which I did one. Finally did one. I haven't done one in a while. And it blows apart. Anyway, so today, let's talk about points. So many people, I had a team coaching recently. That's like, well, do we adjust points? Do we keep points? And I hear different sides of the debate. Some will say, well, we want to fix points. And once we put the points in, we never adjust points because maybe we'll retrospect later on how we did good or bad on the points. And the points have to be perfect. And when I hear that, I think of organizations that want to become good estimators, right? Kind of project management world, like how many people, how many resources, very HR-ish, very, very accounting-ish, looking at what do we need from a point perspective to estimate the future. Now, here's the thing. They all want to say, fix the points, be done with it, never touch them again. And I'm like, why not? Because we all confess and say that estimation is going to be wrong. So why bother estimate? I think you should estimate. There's good and bad, and I can talk about that in another show. I think I've talked about in the past. I think it's pointing is a handy thing to have rather than just counts or what do I feel good? It's good to have some metrics because we all cheat, right? So having the points kind of helps us from cheating ourselves into a bad spot, to be honest with you. That's why I like points rather than say, oh, I just know what we do. Well, we all lie. We all inflate what we can do and everything like that. But we're not going to talk about that today. I'm talking about adjusting points in a sprint. So a lot of people say, don't do it. Once you do the points, it's there. It's always there. And then you know whether or not you're good or bad in your estimates. When I hear that, I hear people that are trying to become good estimators. But like I said, that not necessarily goal in being agile. You're agile. Being a good estimator is not a goal. It may be something that comes out, but it's not the primary purpose. So I would say the primary purpose is not to keep the points that we give on the beginning of a sprint in our sprint planning that we're going to take into a sprint, nor maybe refinement. You come out of it, you have some point estimates what to do. The goal is not that's permanent and it never changes. And this is what I want to say why. You're in a sprint. You pick these points. We all assume that 60%, you're only going to be 6% proper in what your estimate from a complexity or whatever. When you start diving into a complex problem, you might find more complexities and say, "Oh, this is going to take me longer. This is a little more complex. I think I need a little more help. I think there's more things we're going to touch. We're going to touch more systems than we thought to really do this right. We change it here, it actually cascades and affects 5 other systems, and we have to make sure everything's good. So it's a lot bigger than we originally thought when we did. But once I started looking at the code, I'm like, oh, we didn't realize that it touched all these different systems, or all these systems touch the piece of code that I'm going to about change. So we didn't know, right? It happens. It happens. It doesn't happen as often as one may think, but it happens enough to cause turmoil, right? What do they used to say? Thomas the Train said, confusion and delay, right? So it'll cause confusion and delay. So what I'm perfectly fine with changing points if there's a process for which you do that. For example, let's change the point. I say I'm coding something, or I'm building something, or I'm testing something, and I figure it's actually more complicated than we thought. Maybe it's going to take me more rounds to test it. I got to test more things. I didn't realize it was on these different screens. When I first looked at it, I thought I was just testing one screen, but it affects 5 other screens. So it's more complicated. So what I'm thinking, it's going to take me longer than I thought to do the work, right? And some people see time's not in points. It kind of is complexity time. There is a proportional relationship to the two, like how long it's going to do and how many people it's going to take. So what I try to do is say, okay, I want to adjust the points. Let's say it was a 5 point. Let's say it was an average point, whatever your average is, and you want to make it above average or a super average one. The process I have is that it's fine as long as we bring it to the team. Like, hey, in daily Scrum, maybe you didn't bring it to the team earlier. Hey, I found this problem, but at daily Scrum, perfect time to have it because everyone's there. They're all thinking about chicken. Said, look, I'm supposed to solve this. I thought we said was an average one, but it turns out it's going to be above average. It's going to take more time, and I'm going to need some help, and I'm going to need to call on more people to solve this problem. Okay. Now, do you keep it an average story? You make it. I would say make it bigger because one, it takes the stress off. Okay. Because if you say it has to be this and it has to be that, I'm going to say go ahead and adjust it because it lets loose the boundaries with people like, oh, but it's only half a point. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Who cares? Just adjust it what you think it is. Because in the future, when we try to become better estimators, we will see what it was and we'll see what the true estimate is. If we think, oh, last time we only made it an average or a 3-pointer or something like that, but in reality it was bigger, we're using the wrong basis from which we do future estimates. Wrong comparison. Oh yeah, this was only a 3-point. No, it's actually an 8-point. We just didn't change the estimate. So change the estimate so your future estimates are better when you reflect on that comparison, when you do size comparison or complexity or whatever, relative sizing, right? Here's the other thing. One, it gives you a communication point to communicate. Now, okay, would say we did 30 points on average for sprint, and now this one story was a 3-point story is now a 10-point story. I'm just making it bigger. So it's going to take a third of our points. It helps us give a number or a value from which to go, okay, what 10 points or 7 points worth of work are we going to move out? Or are we going to have to move out of sprint? Or do we have to move them out of the sprint, right? But even if you don't make the decision to move out of sprint, it should say, okay, what stakeholders, myself as a Scrum Master or a team or a product owner, need to go notify that, by the way, this higher priority thing came up and it's bigger and everything. The work we promised for the sprint, we're going to move out to the next sprint just because we need to get this higher priority work done. It gives us a value from which to figure out who we got to prioritize, who our communication is, who we got to notify. So I'd rather have people adjust the points and put it in the system. And because the other thing is that when you go talk to people, right, and you say it's bigger, but it says it's only a 3. So why are you adjusting my stuff? No, it's actually 10, but that's not what you have in the system. So you see this argument that you're going to get for the people that say, well, it's only 3, but no, it's actually 10, but you didn't change it. You're not going to win the argument, right? So, and there will be an argument because there always is, right? There's always a debate. So like, what are you doing? Like, maybe you can move things around a little bit, but okay, let's say it's a 10-pointer, make it 10. So when they see the impact of all the extra work that we're going to do, it's like a third more work than we planned for the sprint. And we don't want to make promises. We don't want you to get stuff going or have something delivered and that, or so not only that, it's like before we even adjust all the stuff. So we're thinking these things go out. They may have a deadline or something like it's sales or marketing, maybe Thanksgiving, right? Maybe it's Black Friday or or Cyber Monday, right? Something like that. And hey, we have an ad going out. We got to have this done, right? So then they might adjust. Okay, take these other things off. It's not a higher priority, but this is going out because we're doing our ad and marketing campaign on Cyber Monday, right? Today is Cyber Monday, by the way. Hope you can find some good deals. So those are the kind of things that they may take and may readjust, but it triggers the conversation with, and hopefully you didn't have this like you did all the Cyber Monday stuff way before the sprint before, then the middle of the sprint, right? Hopefully you never plan to deliver something that's in the middle of the sprint for a big sales day. That's just loaded for trouble, but that's another story. But see the conversation. So by changing the points, you give the other people some kind of idea, and everybody can play with numbers. It's like blocks, you know. You can do ones, twos, threes, fours. It's simple. It's a simple thing, and they can put it in their mindset, right? So I think points are good because it gives an idea, a visualization, or a thought process to people, and it's also good to change it because if you don't change it, one, you're going to have an argument on something that's minor or nothing because you didn't change the points and it says 3, but you're saying 10. It's like, but it's 3. It's like my kid's thing. We just had a box something. I said, do this today. It said made for children 6 and up. And then at the bottom, choking hazard should not be used by anybody under 3 or no, under 6 years old or supervision. It was some weird number that just didn't make any sense. So why, if it says 6 and up, why would you say that? It's conflicting information. It's confusing. But in the case of the points, don't leave it at 3 if it's a 10, right? Because it's just going to start confusion and conversation that don't add any value to the conversation, right? So adjust it in the sprint. Do it. Then take that adjustment, go talk to your customers, your stakeholders, and say, here's what we're thinking about doing. What do you think? Right? Do you want to keep doing that? Should we just move to the next sprint? Is there any, is this going to impact you in any particular way? Is it okay? Do we need to adjust the priorities around what you thought was something that you didn't worry about or wasn't as big? We need to move that in front, move things around and adjust the thing. But you need to adjust the points. So that's what I'm saying. Adjusting point spurs that conversation, right? And then it also avoids needless conversation because you have it on the screen. It says 3 points. And what you're telling them, it's a 10-point story. Then make a damn thing a 10-point story, right? It's just easier that way. And people don't understand and don't understand the nuances. Oh, we'll know later. No, just do it then because you're going to forget. You're getting old, maybe you're getting old like me. You just forget to go back and change it later. Do it when it hits you, right? So anyway, I wanted to share that with you about it's okay to adjust points and why and the process involved in adjusting points. Yes, just the points. Bring it to Daily Scrum. Discuss it. Does it look like that? Maybe someone can come up with an answer to not make it 10 points in the Daily Scrum. Maybe they can give you a shortcut or something they did to make it not so complicated, or you really don't have to worry about that. You're overthinking it. You're over-engineering the process. We don't need all that. Or maybe the product owner says, I don't need all that. I've done that many times as a product owner or a manager in many roles where we don't need all that. Oh, okay. Well, then it is easy, right? Maybe they're overthinking the process. Who knows? So then you have that new number. Then you go back to all your stakeholders and talk to them about adjusting for different times when to be delivered, make sure they're okay with that decision, right? So as long as you have that process in place, changing the points makes sense because we're not here in the business to make better estimates. Though, like I said, a little bit, I think in the future, your estimates will be better because you changed your estimate in the sprint. I think it's a better reference point because we all forget and we will forget and we won't go back and change things, right? We don't have time, right? So do it then, do it in the sprint, change it. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. So they're perfect estimates. There ain't no such thing as perfect estimates. But doing this for 30 some odd years, there's always something, but it's always important to understand your risks associated with that estimate or what's going to happen next. Or the impact possibility. And that's what I talk about, impacts, talking to stakeholders. Anyway, that's what I got for today's show. Again, I want to, any veterans out there that would like some coaching for 6 months, I am offering that 6 month coaching for 5 veterans. That'll expire at the end of this year. on my repeating machine. I should put a post, but maybe I'll do that today on my day off and share it with everyone. Hope you're doing well. I hope you enjoyed your holidays. Hope you're energized and look forward to the new year. I know I'm looking for all new goals and new things going on and prep for all that. So I want to wish you all the best and take care and happy scrumming. See you next time. Bye.